On this episode of DC On Screen, if we can make our own epic DC Comics movie trilogy, what would it be? What villains would we like to see in a Superman movie? What creator, DC character, and actor who portrayed that character would we sit down and enjoy a meal with? Plus, Patty Jenkins gives a little bit on the Amazon spin-off film and who she's been writing it with. The HBO Max Green Lantern series has an executive producer. Spoiler, is the same person that's writing with Patty. And we laugh over an innocently achieved yet nonetheless unfortunate portmanteau, but not in any groups of people, or because we're gleeful about saying a portion of a hurtful word. Because we're not 13, no matter how many dick jokes we make. So strap on. I didn't even mean to do that. Strap in for an episode full of mispronunciations, verbal flubs, and all sorts of other stuff I've already mentioned before the heartfelt disclaimer I tried to slip in without ruining the mood. All that stuff. Right after a commercial, what content we can only guess about.
Discover unbeatable deals and convenience at your neighborhood family fare supermarkets. Score exclusive deals, earn rewards, join clubs, and clip digital coupons for extra savings all in one place. Our exclusive offers bring savings straight to your card. Explore a wide range of local products that support your community. With easy pickup and delivery options, saving time and grocery shopping has never been easier. Family Fare is all about making your grocery experience easy and affordable and your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. Family Fare in your neighborhood.
Welcome into DC On Screen episode 593. I'm David C. Robertson, and this, the man who stripped you of the handbags and glad rags that your granddad had to sweat so you could buy, Jason Goss. On this podcast, we talk about the DC Comics multiverse on film and television, give honest opinions on projects upcoming and past, and believe that every version of a property is valid, even if we do not want it to be. If it's been released, it is fair game, so beware of spoilers, and welcome to the show. Woo! Man, we've had 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And there's still not a lot of news.
There's still everything's on pause.
Everything's on pause.
Quick disclaimer from me.
Mm-hmm.
If you hear something yelling in the background, that's my daughter.
We know. Everybody knows you're a daddy.
She's here. Normally she's a little further away, but that's not happening tonight. Also, I screwed up and we got her this little table and chair set. Because we were hoping to transition her from like the high chair that she's trying to crawl out of dangerously into just having her own little table and chair that's not as dangerous. Mm-hmm. And she's using it as a workout routine. So if there's any smacking, I've done my best, but sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
I went in there a minute ago to ask, like, what the hell is she doing? And she's just like sitting over one of the little tiny chairs, huffing and puffing, like waiting to get her breath back so she can keep lifting it up and putting it back down again. Yeah, she goes hard.
I do the same thing, but with a plate of food.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a new patron.
Well,
and he's been a long time listener. Joseph Fornerado. Thank you very much, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening for so long, and also just thank you for your support here. Mm-hmm. Every little bit helps. Help us keep everybody. Oh my God! Every little bit helps to keep the lights on.
There you go. He made it.
And the tears are as follows. Coming out of my face. The tears are coming out of my face.
Yeah, it's getting bad.
Yeah. $1 gets you a shout out on the show, as you just heard in every regular episode of our show without those annoying ads for Limu Emu. $5 a month gets you all that and extra weird content like chasing squirrels, how now, Jason's pull list. So when we get a chance to do those things, when there are pull lists to have, and
maybe this week finally.
Yeah, I'm behind on. I was ill prepared for the release schedule for that Batman: The Adventures Continue, and they dropped another one on me. I was like, son of a bitch.
Oh yeah.
So that'll come soon.
I mean, according to my little app, everything's supposed to be back this week. But well, I say everything. According to my little app, a couple of things are going to be back this week.
Right.
Oh Lord,
so
it's crazy.
All right, let's jump into some DCEU or DC Films news, however we want to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Patty Jenkins was talking to Total Film Magazine, and she was talking about the future of Wonder Woman. And she says, I'm not going to nail down a fresh thought about it until this movie comes out. That's 1984. Because I kind of want to give myself a palate cleanser and be fresh of mind. But yeah, there's an arc that I have in mind for the first movie, and then the second movie, and then the Amazon movie, and then the third movie.
Sweet.
And in regards to the Amazon spinoff, she says, I'm not going to direct it, hopefully. I'm going to try really hard not to. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
But Geoff Johns and I came up with a story, and we sold the pitch, and we're going to get it going. I'll produce it for sure. So, if you're, one of those people who don't like Geoff Johns, sorry.
He's still in the game.
He's still in the game.
Definitely on the properties that were already out 3 or 4 years ago when, he was basically the conduit between the two. So, yeah, he's still there.
And I'm not crying about an Amazon spinoff that Geoff Johns and Patty Jenkins came up with.
No, that could be pretty dope.
By the way, Wonder Woman 1984 does have an official rating now. It's earned a PG-13 rating due to sequences of action and violence.
Oh, no.
Oh!
Whatever will we do? The children.
The children, man.
Think of the children.
And that's all the DC Films news we have.
That sounds about right.
We're going to just shift it right on over to television. Speaking of Geoff Johns, he is set to executive produce a new Green Lantern series for HBO Max. The Green Lantern HBO Max series that we've been hearing about.
Right.
His company, Mad Ghost Productions, is listed, or has listed the project on their website along with a bunch of other HBO Max and DC Universe shows and CW shows.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, if you don't like Geoff Johns, sorry.
He's in there, though. That dude loves him some Green Lantern.
He's in there. He does.
If you've had disagreements with him in the past, remember, they have not been probably over Green Lantern.
Oh, right, because,
I mean, he's attached to the 2011 movie, but by the time it got out, it was one of those where he was like, no, that's not what I was going for.
Here's the thing. I was fighting with myself. I almost said a thing. Then I was like, you know what? That's probably not a good thing to say. Piss off people. And now I'm just sort of like, you know what? I don't care. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority of people who are pissed off at Geoff Johns aren't even really DC fans anyway.
Yeah, see, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into who's a DC fan. That's a.
I'm not. No, I'm saying the diehard.
I'm going to make you defend yourself
Snyder
on there.
people. The diehard Snyder people who don't care for comic books or anything outside of Zack Snyder's shit. Which is, I'm not saying this shit. I love it. Just saying.
All right, so to rephrase then, you're talking about people who are primarily fans of Zack Snyder, who happen to have been fans of the movies and really are not primarily fans of DC Comics.
That's right.
Okay, I'll give you that with all those additions.
Right.
That first phrasing, I was going to make you go back for that one.
Those are generally the people I feel who were angry about Geoff Johns doing anything.
It's the more vocal parts that get retweeted and start getting all but it's also something I only get glimpses of because 3 seconds is as soon as I realize I've stepped into that puddle of quicksand, I'm out. The other I don't even transfer leverage to that foot. I'm out.
Right.
It's just oh excuse me there. Oh, my bad. And I'm just move on.
And I feel like I feel like I want to fight it, and then I'm like fight saying stuff about this, but it's gotten to the point where I'm like, look, I support the Snyder Cut. I support, the artist having his creative freedom and things going the way that they were promised they would go.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, the studio is the villain here for sure.
Right.
That's absolutely. That's the thing that we've been trying to push very hard. But getting into it and saying stuff and actually, I genuinely don't remember the last time I was scrolling through Twitter and went, oh, someone changed their mind about a thing because someone said something.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a thing. It's just not.
Right. The toxicity of certain groups or certain individuals within groups is just not okay. And
it's just people yelling at each other, and the frequency of caps lock gets more.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing for. I don't have time for that.
Mm-mm.
There's enough exhausting stuff in my life.
So yeah, if you guys, if one of you thinks that we're the problem, that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't feel compelled to leave us a comment about it. Just if it bothers you that much, just shuffle off. It's okay.
Like we always say, I'll happily discuss anything, but I'm not going to get any yelling match.
Yeah.
That ain't happening. Like as soon as I sense hostility about it and getting into like the antagonize part of it, I'm just gonna turn the whole thing off and go find a video of puppies. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
that's what
we share this show onto YouTube, and I got a few months ago, whatever it was. We got a few
time doesn't mean anything anymore
from people who were like, "You're the problem. People like you. Geoff Johns is this." I was like, "Yeah, I'm not even gonna respond to that."
Yeah,
I didn't even read all of it.
I don't blame you.
So
sometimes
there's
a little bit of this to especially with Geoff Johns, in particular with him. Like even if you don't like what's happened in, let's say, the last several years, let's say you don't like a lot of what he's done in his career. Let's just say you've never vibed with his stories, and now your take on the situation is that he intervened and took something that you were really going to like and made it into something you really didn't like. Like, to put it mildly, let's say that's your take on the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You remember in like the third X-Men movie when was it like the third one, I think, when the fire dude starts popping off about Xavier and Magneto just like shuts him down?
That sounds like number 2, actually.
I mean, 2 or 3, whatever. But he shuts him down and he just gives him like this quick speech about like, it's along the lines of, "Don't you ever let me hear you talk about that man again. He's done more for mutant rights than you would ever dream of," that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And the kid's just like,
scene.
but he's our enemy. He's like, "That's not the point. That man has done more for our cause than you will ever touch.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up."
Mm-hmm.
Look, even if you don't like him, he has contributed greatly to what you're invested in. So, just call it a day if you don't like it.
That's a good point. It's a great point. Anywho,
Mm-hmm.
The Flash showrunner, Eric Wallace.
Yeah, who is that now? I couldn't think of the name now.
Yeah,
It's changed a couple times in the last couple years.
It's not Todd Helbing anymore. So Eric Wallace told comicbook.com, ironically, I'm relieved. I'll tell you why. When I break the seasons of The Flash, each graphic novel is broken down like a movie. What I think of as my master plan. So like a good movie, it has an Act 1, Act 2, and an Act 3. Well, the end of this season, because of production stopping, will be the end of Act 2 of our movie, which is a perfect point to break your story because there's a huge cliffhanger, and there's a hero at his lowest point, and yet now you finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. So it actually was very fortunate for us, even though it was very sad to see production end and not be able to get to what is essentially Act 3 of our movie. When we come back, not only are you presenting the ending in a house on fire, but where we leave this year's cliffhanger isn't just an ordinary episode. I like that he is sort of trying to take this into a positive direction.
Yeah, but
and
does it a little bit have like a Larry David feel to it to you?
No, it has a Titan season 1 feel to me.
Well, no. I get it. I get that. I get what you're saying. But here's why my mind went to Larry David. Like you've told me that story about like every time they renewed Seinfeld, he'd just cry because he's like, "How am I going to do that again?"
Yep.
And it's a funny story, but it's also something that I think a lot of writers would read that and go, "Yeah, I know what you mean." It just a little bit feels like he's like, "Oh, yeah, wrapping things up after I can destroy the character, but having him pull it off and make it rewarding, that's harder. Okay, we'll push that off to next season. Sweet."
Yeah, maybe.
I don't begrudge him it.
Honestly,
it just sounds like it maybe it's like, okay, that's a little bit of a burden off my shoulders.
I felt like he started to say a thing that he meant and then shifted it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he had been like, ironically, "I'm relieved. I'm really tired after Crisis," I would have totally believed him.
That makes sense too. I mean, that could play into what I was saying also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it though. It's a lot. It's a lot to wrap up.
Yeah. I mean, plus, if I'm being honest, right now, the Flash this year has not been great to me. Like, it has just been kind of a slog, honestly.
I honestly don't remember. I have to get back into it. I know like I'm 2 episodes.
You know what that
now.
means? If you can't remember, that means it's been a bit of a slog. And
No,
you don't care.
no. I genuinely, I won't hold it against it. Like I was up to date on the episodes, and then it seems like January came along. Like I got through the holidays, and I was still up to date. Mostly because the holidays give you a chance to catch up. You know, if you're behind a week or two, there's usually a break. And then I got back, and 3 or 4 episodes accumulated, and I just had not had time to sit down and do it yet. So when I finally did, I binged it, but at that point I was literally like binging between making sure the daughter didn't die and just trying to watch that out of the corner of the eye. This is half on me at least. I have not had time to really focus. It's one of those things where I feel like the second I sit down and watch the first scene of whatever's going on now, I'll be back in. Like I remember, there's the mirror light. Yeah, I'm pretty much back in already. Yeah. As soon as I remember it, I'll be all right. But this is on me.
Yeah,
it's my fault as a viewer.
Well, it's not my fault as a viewer.
I'll take half blame.
I mean, it might be. It might be. I think it's got several things working against it. I
don't remember thinking there was a lull in particular. Nothing like that exactly.
Everything leading up to Crisis for me that didn't have to deal with Crisis, I didn't care about because it's not Crisis.
Yeah, but it seemed like if I remember correctly, they were one of the shows that just wrapped their thing up real quick and then said, all right, we'll do Crisis now. And then they moved on to something else afterwards.
Yeah, but they've kind of come back to some stuff. And I'm sorry. If I never even see the guy that plays Bloodwork again, I'll be happy. Because every time I see him, he's like a mad scientist who, turns himself into a monster.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Yeah, I always call him Mohinder.
Oh yeah,
because that's
all I know him from is being Mohinder. And the funny part was he's one of those actors. The entire time I was watching Heroes, I remember thinking like, I like this guy's work, but about halfway through that series with Heroes, it felt like they just couldn't figure out what to do with him. But he was so good on screen, they were trying anyway, and I went into it after a while. And then at some point, they just borrowed the plot from The Fly and threw it out on the wall. Like, hopefully no one noticed. It's a 30-year-old movie. Throw it up there.
Threw it on the wall.
Yeah. And that's where he stayed for 2 episodes while he incubated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just, and to me, it's unfair because it's like, to me, I was bored by everything that wasn't directly Crisis related, and now I'm bored by everything that's not as good as Crisis or directly Crisis related. Like, I would much rather see like, what are the differences? What are I don't care about Mirror Iris. What?
I know. I know. I mean, it has that like, you had filet mignon last night, and now you're just sitting down to like taco meat. You're like, this just isn't gonna work.
It is
like if you hadn't had the filet mignon, you'd be like, tacos, sweet.
Yeah,
love tacos.
Is unfair. It is a little unfair. I don't know how to help it though.
I feared this outcome for you. I really did.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's okay. I've weathered worse.
I know.
I watched all of Dark Angel.
I know, but your expectations, it's funny to watch because your expectations work against you so hard when you're watching things. It's fascinating to watch. Like they will get so high and so low so much that by the time you're watching it, you're just like, I don't even care if I like this anymore. Let's just get through it. Because you go through that, like you in particular seem to have a stage where like you get really amped up about it, and then you get to the point where your expectations are doing you harm. Where you're like, okay, hold on, expectations. I'm not sure.
I actively fight that.
I'm not sure I want to get this all the way up here, and then you do such a good job fighting them that by the time you watch the thing, you're like, I don't know, it's like whatever.
Well, importantly, like here's the thing. My expectations are certain, or like I've liked The Flash so much over the years that my expectations for the show are really high.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So when they don't meet it, I'm very disappointed. My expectations for Supergirl, on the other hand, are so low that when they do a mediocre job, I'm really excited, and I'm like, that was a damn fine season.
I get it,
and I enjoy it way more. My expectations were just mediocre for Batwoman, but I've really enjoyed the season.
Yeah.
So I mean, and
yeah,
at a certain point,
I mean, I'm the same way. I'm definitely a slave of them as well. I just yours are like such extremes. It seems like
it's really not. It's really not.
It does seem to be. I don't know. It could just be an outside interpretation. Like the wife and I have both rewatched Community here in the last several weeks. Again, something in the background while the baby was not dying. And somewhere like in the last season, Abed has this little speech where he talks about, their story, and it's a real meta speech, but in there, he includes something in there where it's like, sometimes it's okay it has to be okay for a show to phone a couple episodes in. We have to be willing to deal with that because it's part of the whole product. And if it's a thing we love, we need to learn to forgive, when it hits a low spot from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm paraphrasing heavily, but that was the gist of it. And I've watched that episode a few times over the years, and every time I hear that speech, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how I feel about any of this. I like every now and then there's like an episode that has no payoff for me or something, and overwhelming my response is like, okay, well, I mean, we'll see you next week, but I'm not going to rewatch that one.
Right. I am not one of those, I've never been one of those guys who just decided to start trashing it like, oh, that should have ended at this time. It sucks now. You know what? Like,
I've had metered conversations with you where we've talked about a show and I'm like, if they probably stopped here, but it's always a discussion where I've never felt like, Dave, you entitled hoe, what are you doing?
Right. No, like at the end of the day, I'm going to have all of this CW shit on my wall and I'm going to look back on it fondly as hell. Like,
oh yeah, it's been a joy.
I walk into I don't even have all the stuff that's out, and I look and see all those Arrow and Flash seasons and Supergirl and stuff, and I just beam. Yeah. I'm just so happy that it exists and it's there on my wall.
And a lot of the CW stuff we used to talk about with Arrow in particular did this to us. You would sit down and watch an episode and kind of a little bit there would be a little bit of dread to start the episode. And then sometimes you'd be like, okay, yeah, that was a bit of a slog. I didn't enjoy that one that much. And other times, like 2 minutes in, you'd be like, I don't even know what I was talking about. I can't believe I didn't watch this earlier. It would I didn't know what the hell to expect episode to episode.
And it's got a little bit of the Family Guy / American Dad syndrome where like you're gonna like one a whole lot more than the other.
Oh,
so like when the Flash really like swept me off my feet, I was just like, man, the Flash is just bringing me all this action and heart, and then I just gotta go back to Arrow where everybody's sad.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
in our early episodes, we used to like gauge how dour Stephen Amell was told to be per episode.
Yeah.
Like, how sad do you think they made him be on this episode? They probably told him it was going to be an 8 on the dour scale. Some heavy eyebrow.
Since this ended probably in the past 2 weeks, I have tweeted Stephen Amell and thanked him.
Nice.
like, thank you for everything, man. You just did a really good job. He didn't respond, but I didn't expect him to.
The only thing I've seen from him in several weeks is he put up some video where he was dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife's only comment was, yeah, if you do that a few more times, you might get one of your abs back.
Yes, that was so good.
Oh, yeah.
That was so good. Here's the thing that's good. Getting back to the news real quick.
Oh, cool.
Thomas Lennon says he will definitely return as Mxyzptlk. I can't say it. I never.
Brave and the Bold gave me a great guide to saying it, and I've appreciated it ever since.
See, for me, it was Superman, the animated series.
Was it them? Had like the record?
Yes, that was
okay. Superman. Well, then that was Superman the animated.
Gilbert Gottfried.
That was the same one, and I've seemingly never forgotten the example, even if I completely forgot where the fuck it came from.
I remember the example. I just can't say it. Mxyzptlk. I can say it when I think about it for a second, but I've got to pause and go.
The act, the band, the act, I guess.
Yeah. All right. He said he says, I don't even know. He said, we haven't even announced this yet, but yeah, when the show returns, which I hope is sooner than later, there is definitely a plan for the return of Mxyzptlk. And thank God, because it took me so long to learn how to say the name. Yay! Which, when his initial reply, though, was my favorite when they asked, and he said, as soon as television is open again. It sounded like such a you thing to say.
Yeah.
And I know that you've literally read a book on writing by Thomas Lennon.
And
so like
his partner, I forget his name. That's my fault. Joe something.
Yeah. But you're such a Thomas Lennon guy. It's just
I love the guy. His sense of humor, yeah. I feel like there don't need to be two of me and him in the room together, because if you have one of us, your quota's met. Now, he's far better than I am, but I feel like if he's there, you don't need me especially.
Yeah. Let me put it this way. I'll take you in a room as long as over Thomas Lennon, if Thomas Lennon is in The Odd Couple.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. That was a bad show.
I watched none of it. I just trusted you. You gave it a viewing.
I watched 2 episodes and said no more.
Yeah.
My wife watched the entire series and said Please,
Thank
no
God
more.
there's no
I'm gonna
more.
Keep watching. Yeah. She hated every episode.
Yeah.
And it should have been. It was Matthew Perry. It was
love the
Thomas
stars.
Lennon. It was Lindsay Sloan.
Yeah. I loved the cast. Yeah.
Yvette Nicole Brown was in it. I mean, good Lord. How do you screw that up?
Yeah, I don't know.
And yet.
I don't know.
We've got a new look at the next Superman animated movie. It looks very much like, I don't know, 70s manga Batman comics to me. Like, it's just I've seen other people say that it looks like Super Friends, but like super modernized. I don't know. But
I remember
Darren
seeing
Criss
the headline, but what is the movie?
It's called Man of Tomorrow. Darren Criss is from Glee is playing Superman. He played Mxyzptlk on Supergirl in The Flash. Zachary Quinto is playing Lex Luthor.
Oh, sweet. That actually is a good call.
Yeah, Sylar from Heroes and Spock on Star Trek. And Alexandra Daddario.
He did
who's
Dracula recently? Anyway.
Yeah. She's always being bandied about as like Zatanna or somebody. She's going to be Lois Lane in the movie. Brett Dalton from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Is going to be Parasite. And Lobo is going to be The Walking Dead's Ryan Hurst. I don't know that guy.
I might, just because I watched the first 4 seasons, but not off the name.
Yeah. Ike Amati from Mass Effect 3 is Martian Manhunter. Neil Flynn from Scrubs is Jonathan Kent. And Bellamy Young from Scandal is Martha Kent. There's no more plot details. We don't know. Superman Man of Tomorrow is going to be directed by Chris Palmer, who did Voltron Legendary Defender. It is written by Tim Sheridan, who did The Death of Superman. With Butch Lukic of Justice League and Batman Beyond as a supervising producer. I don't know anything about this movie, but the cast seems good.
Yeah, no problem with the cast. I mean, there's a book, Superman Man of Tomorrow, but is that what they're basing it on, or are they just borrowing the title?
We don't know.
Yeah,
we literally don't know.
Just literally don't know. Gotcha. I had to look it up real quick, but yeah, Brent Dalton was Grant Ward. Who I refer to as the man who wouldn't die.
That's right.
They kept coming up with a good ending for that character and be like, and next season, here's what? Why? He died. He died good.
Yeah. They let him go a season too long, I think. He was always a good actor. He was always a good character. They just kind of kept bringing him back so often. They're like, okay, at some point, death has to count. What are we doing? And then the other voice was like, yeah, the whole show's about death not counting. Don't give me that right now, Jason. Yeah. We'll bring him back as Hydra. Yeah. We'll bring him back as a hologram in the Matrix.
Stone. What? I don't know.
Oh my God. Just kill him.
That was just a figment of somebody's imagination. I don't even know. I forget all of the...
A fagment?
I started to say fraction and figment at the same time. And then I realized that fraction of someone's imagination is not a phrase. So I tried mid-word and...
oh my God.
I only made it so far.
All right. So Harley Quinn is over on SYFY channel right now. They're airing them on Sundays. They've already aired the first 4 episodes on May 3rd at 11 p.m. On May 10th, it'll be episodes 5 through 7 at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. May 17th, it'll be episodes 8 through 10. And then May 24th, it'll be episodes 11 through 13. If you haven't seen the show, it is a good is a good way to watch it without subscribing to friggin' DC Universe.
Yeah.
Season 2 is on and it's fantastic. And I don't know what to tell you other than hit it up.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. You probably already seen it if you're listening, but still, if you haven't,
yeah,
good opportunity.
Unless you live in Canada or something. Oh, sorry, Travis.
Poor bastards.
Love you, Travis. Anyway, we're going to go to break. And when we come back, we got some listener feedback.
Discover unbeatable deals and convenience at your neighborhood family fare supermarkets. Score exclusive deals, earn rewards, join clubs, and clip digital coupons for extra savings all in one place. Our exclusive offers bring savings straight to your card. Explore a wide range of local products that support your community. With easy pickup and delivery options, saving time and grocery shopping has never been easier. Family Fare is all about making your grocery experience easy and affordable at your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. Family Fare in your neighborhood.
Yep.
All right, we're back with listener feedback.
Oh, sorry. Do that again. I talked over you a little bit. I was going to say, yeah, we got to run through this.
Yep.
Sorry.
All right, we're back with listener feedback. Hi. How you doing?
Same.
Eli Hernandez on Twitter says, "Gentlemen, if we ever get a Superman movie in the future, I'm sure we will if we get, which villain or villains would you like to see? I want to go with characters we've not seen on film yet, like Metallo and Toyman. Thank you. You're welcome." I want to see Brainiac and Luthor. That's what I want to see. I would open the movie with an established Superman, preferably Cavill, but what are you going to do if you can't?
Yeah.
I would start the movie off with a giant Toyman situation, like a Transformer, or what do you call them? The Pacific Rim robots, or Zord, or whatever you want to call them.
Not kaiju.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Robot kaiju.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, what's the thing
that's punching the kaijus?
The kaiju killers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Punchy.
I want like a Toyman, mecha thing running around and Superman fighting it.
I mean, I think I'd be happy with just a Toyman antagonist movie altogether.
I've never liked the character that much.
See, there's enough potential there to play around. There's been several versions of Toyman. You could kind of pick one that really resonated with you and go with it, and I'd be pretty happy. Mm-hmm. But some of Superman's villains are a little like Metallo actually bores me most of the time.
I cannot stand Metallo most of the time.
You can voice him by what's his name, McDonald, all you want in the animated
Malcolm
series.
McDowell.
McDowell, there you go. Thank you. I knew it was 2 M's. I was probably like, you can voice him by Ronald McDonald if you want to, but
Ronald McDonald.
My thoughts are just getting close to where they want to be tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I hear you.
And it makes for a great voice performance, but the character itself is just like a robot with some kryptonite inside. And
yeah,
a lot of the times I see him, it's just he's a bit of a plot device. Like, oh yeah, you think you got this under control? Well, one wardrobe malfunction later, here you are. Like, oh, guess what? Big reveal. And and you just kind of after a minute, I think I've just gotten bored with seeing it after some time. At some point, you're like, man, just go wrap some lead gloves around your fists and just fisticuffs that bastard down. You'll be all right.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing a Mxyzptlk.
Something like Mxyzptlk would be fantastic. Just something truly surreal. Mm-hmm. Like, give it to somebody who enjoys surreal. Like, give it to, I don't know. What's a good director for that? I want to say, like, if you could combine the powers of Taiki and Edgar Wright.
Taika
Waititi. Yeah, there you go. Taiki. Jesus Christ. We have a history of mispronunciation. I'm single-handedly carrying that burden right now. So, I'm doing a pretty good job if I do say so.
Okay. So yeah,
you give Tiny Tykes the movie and.
Alrighty. J. Scotty St. Clair says, might be a doozy off the top of your heads. It always is.
Yeah.
But it should be a fun discussion. If you could share a meal with any DC Comics character, their creator or creators, and an actor that portrayed or voiced them, who's joining you and what's on the menu? The creator doesn't necessarily have to be the person who originally came up with the character, but was influential on their evolution or indelibility.
All right. Let me make sure I understand the question. Uh-huh. So I'm going to be at a table.
Right.
And to my right, will be the creator or a highly influential person for that character, creative-wise. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then on the other side of me is going to be my favorite version of that character in character.
You're talking about the DC Comics character, I guess your favorite version of that character, their creator or creators, and an actor that portrayed their
all three.
Voice.
Okay, just check.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rough. Yeah, God, that is off the top of my head. Jesus. You've heard what my head's up to tonight. That's just...
I know.
Hardly up for this kind of thing. Maybe... Oh, God, that's tough. I mean, my favorite character of all time is Superman. So if I'm just going, let's just do this deductively. It's Superman. I would like to have Siegel and Schuster there. I think that's only fair.
Sure.
And then you can almost do a Rolodex of who I'd like to otherwise have a meal with. Reeve was a delight. Henry Cavill looks fun. You know, he's going to order some really good whiskey. Yeah. You know, if it's just down to it, it might be Cavill, Superman, Siegel, and Schuster. If I just do the math on who are my favorite characters, who's my favorite character, and just work from there.
Yeah.
It might be that boring. I mean, I would enjoy the shit out of that meal, but it might be that boring of an answer.
Here's the thing. I thought about Siegel and Schuster, and I decided against them because I would feel so bad for them, and I already do feel bad for how terribly they were treated and how broke they were. I would feel like I would have to pay for the meal.
Well, that's precisely actually why I want them at that meal.
And I've also heard too much. Like, they made the most creative... they created the most popular character ever. I've read too much about them. So that's why I'm like... I thought about Reeve because I would love to get some more dirt on Marlon Brando.
You may need Richard Pryor for that conversation.
Oh my God. I think...
God, that'd be a fun conversation to ask about.
Right? Oh my God. That would be awesome if you just like... Screw creators, all right? Just have Christopher Reeve and Richard Pryor in a room together talking about Marlon Brando. He's like, yeah, he was a real dick on set, you know. I don't know. And then like Richard Pryor's like, yeah, but
we had some good times.
Yeah, we had some.
Oh, guys, I'm going to order a bottle of something, and we're going to have a chat about this. I want to know everything.
So anyway, I'm a huge Superman guy. I'm a huge Batman guy, more so than a Superman guy. But because of that, I've read too many articles, too many things. So in order to learn, I think I have chosen, I choose Jack the King Kirby with Granny Goodness and Ed Asner.
See, if I was at that table, I'd be like, gentlemen, ladies, I'm glad we've gathered here. I have but one question to put to the group. And then I just gesture at Granny and go, explain yourself. I'll wait. And then the waiter comes over and starts asking, I'm like, shush, shush, shush. They will answer first. Thank you very much. And then we go back to it. And I just stare at him. Mostly at Kirby with side glances at Ed Asner every now and then.
Yeah. Ooh, either that or Zack Snyder and Jimmy Olsen and just some random person who played him. I don't care. I really just want Snyder to
basically
look,
the same conversation, but
I just want Snyder to look Jimmy Olsen and I'd be like, sorry. I just didn't think you worked.
You explain to him. You tell him you're sorry right now.
There wasn't a place for you in the story. I'm sorry.
If I was answering in character for Jimmy, it'd be like, well, shucks, it's okay, sir. That would be it.
Yeah.
And then the actor playing him just dead-eyeing Snyder going, no, we need to talk.
Right.
Here's another option. You could get Batman, Kevin Conroy probably, and then Bob Kane. just not feed Bob Kane the entire time he's looking around for his meal to arrive. And at some point he's like, am I going to get eaten? No, we fed Bill Finger. Offside.
Yeah, if I could have like Jerry Springer there, I would have Bill Finger and Bob Kane. And Batman and Kevin Conroy.
Oh, it'd be, you'd have the actual Batman, you'd have Kevin Conroy, you'd have Jerry Springer, you'd have Bob Kane, Bill Finger. And then in a 7th seat you included, you'd have just a little plaque that says the rights to Batman. And they keep reaching for it, and Batman just slaps it on their hands and goes, no. Yeah. You're like, you two explain yourselves. One of you's walking away with this seat.
Yeah.
I mean, well, he wasn't wrong. This has been fun to talk about.
Yeah, it was fun. All right.
I wouldn't mind having Berlanti, Ryan Reynolds, and Green Lantern in the same room.
Oh, that would be good.
With the same premise. Let's talk. What happened? Let's have a chat.
The first thing out of Ryan Reynolds' mouth is, I wanted to play Flash. Which is true. They were like, Green Lantern. He's like,
would have been great.
Flash. Yeah, but Green Lantern. I want to fine. I want to be a superhero anyway. So okay. Yeah.
Just put me in a suit. Well, about the suit. Oh, God damn it. We're gonna dress you like the green dude from It's Always Sunny. Oh, great. Yeah. That's gonna make me feel super powerful. Awesome.
Have you seen all the stuff about, like, a few weeks ago someone said, hey, I haven't watched Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds in a while. Been a few years. It's 99 cents to rent, blah, 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 or something. And then Ryan Reynolds responded to the guy and said, walk away.
See, I thought he was going to say, like, I'll give you $2 not to watch it. Deal.
And now he and Taika Waititi are both, like, feigning ignorance. Like, they're acting like they don't even know what the movie is. They're like, I don't know, Green Lantern, I don't know what that is. Like, guys, it wasn't that bad. It was a good movie, really.
Yeah.
The editing was a little shit, but, hey, what are you going to do? Anywho, Josh Lawless. That's a cool name.
It is.
Lawless.
I know Josh Lawler at one point.
Says, now hear me out.
Not the same.
Doomsday, but with a Red Lantern ring. Discuss.
Oh, I did see this somewhere.
Oh, no? I don't have a discussion about that. Just a little bit of pee in my pants. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't know what to do with that. Just like, uh-oh.
I think you and I talked about it privately for half a second somewhere.
Did we?
I don't think we did on the show. I think we did privately. But I remember telling you my first thought was like, oh, yeah, well, then we're all fucked. What do you want? Universe over. Fucking go ahead and carve out a tombstone. He'll break it, but you can carve out a tombstone.
They'll figure something out. They always do.
You'd have to open a hole and let Kronos crawl through it and grab him and pull it back, and that'd still just only buy you some time.
Now he poses an additional thought. He says, the Batman who laughs with a yellow lantern ring. Or Lobo with an orange lantern ring.
Lobo with orange makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
No fast food joint in the universe would be safe. Nor any scantily clad woman.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the Batman who laughs with the fear ring in a way doesn't make sense, though.
Oh, do tell.
Well, I mean, I definitely get what he's going for, and it would be formidable, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you remember seeing Batman with a yellow ring, and it was just it was brutal.
Yeah.
But Batman Who Laughs he's so like, I think in D&D terms it'd be called like chaotic neutral in a way. Like, yeah, he's evil and he wants to destroy everything, so I guess he'd be chaotic evil. But he's also kind of he works with whatever he has to. He's a genuine psychopath. He works with literally whatever emotion he needs. He doesn't care, and he has no investment in it. His only investment is to win, and however he has to do it, he has to do it. If that involves frightening you, sure, and he'll have a laugh at your expense. If it involves getting you heavily invested in something, he'll do that instead. And then when it falls, he'll have a laugh at your expense. As long as he's pulling the rug out from under you at the end of the whole thing, he doesn't care how it happens. Like, he would be formidable with the yellow ring, but there would be times where the yellow ring would just be like, yeah, I don't think you're worthy, and just bounce off somewhere else for a little while. And then come crawling back to him later when he decided to go back into, fear mode. Like, he's just a genuine psychopath. In the truest sense of the word. Like in the sense that honest to God psychopaths, like the people with the actual neurological condition, not the overused word, don't experience the anticipation of fear like normal people do.
Yeah.
They don't get it. I once heard a story about some guy who was like, they can do empathy tests where they show you faces and you're supposed to identify the emotion, and the faces are more or less subtle, so the test is on a grade. And, this one anecdote was like this one prisoner in particular just couldn't identify fear. It just, he would just blank. He just didn't know what to call it. And then toward the end of the test, because he was clever, they often are, toward the end of the test, he told the person interviewing him, was like, I know I'm failing whatever this is, and I don't know what to call it, but I do know that's the face that people make when you're about to stab them. Didn't even know how to call it, couldn't empathize with it to save his life, but he did recognize where he'd seen that before.
That's so messed up.
It's really messed up. And that's an anecdote from a researcher. It's probably within bounds an actual thing that happened. And a first-hand anecdote, mind you. But still, yeah, I don't know. He would be formidable when he was trying to use it, but I feel like he would put it in a box and come back for it later when he didn't need it, if that makes sense.
Fair. Henry Cooper, over on Twitter, says, each of your top 3 DCEU movies.
God damn. Man of Steel is probably my heart's favorite. BVS is my brain's favorite. Goes without saying, Ultimate Edition.
Sure.
That third slot gets real competitive. But Aquaman's up there really high. It'd be between that and Wonder Woman for me.
For me, it is BVS, Birds of Prey, and Shazam.
See, I forgot about Shazam for a minute. Damn it. No, that's what I said. I said Aquaman. I'll live with it. I'll give him, there's some recency effect to it. Like, whenever I get time, I'm going to, throw Wonder Woman at the little girl, and she's just right at 18 months, so yeah, she'd get some of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I meant, that'll give me an excuse to watch it again, so I'm gonna throw that her way at some point very soon, and it may jump right back up to the top. I don't know. I enjoyed the shit out of it. It's really like Man of Steel's just my favorite version of my favorite character.
Mm-hmm.
And then BVS is, I think, one of the most intriguing movies I've ever watched, and really did a lot, and honestly represented both characters in ways that I just never thought I'd ever get to see. It's engaging as hell. And then that third slot is just so fucking competitive.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I get it. Matthew Salvatore on Twitter says, which Batman villain would you say needs an update? Doesn't have to be a complete overhaul of the character, but maybe some minor changes to make the character fit better with the version of Batman we have now.
With the Affleck Batman, I assume.
He didn't specify movies. He said it's just a Batman villain that needs an update with the Batman we have now. That could be comic books. That could be whatever. Movies, cartoons.
I mean, it could be. Knowing him, it's probably Affleck. Just a bit.
I don't know.
But for funsies, I'll just pick any of those things. And let's see. His villains. I always want to update Scarecrow.
Mm-hmm.
If I go to the comics, there was a thing called Kings of Fear last year, a little miniseries that actually did a really fun job. It was basically like Batman ODing on fear toxin and his inner landscape. That was actually pretty enjoyable.
That's cool.
That kind of was a really fun revamp. I always want to revamp Scarecrow though. Like, it was one of my favorite things when he showed up in the Nolan verse. Who you got? I want another second.
Well, I haven't kept up with the comics as well as you have, so let me know if they've already done it. But Egghead is the first person that came to mind.
I haven't seen him in ever. I don't think I've seen him on page ever in my history of reading.
Yeah, he was. Did you see him in that Harley Quinn a couple weeks ago?
No, you pointed out that it was there, but I haven't gone back to rewatch it. I missed the reference.
Now, I know that everyone shits on this version or this episode of Batman the Animated Series, and he's in the comics. He's always been played for laughs, or mostly always been played for laughs, but I would love to see like an honest-to-God solid take on Mxyzptlk.
Yeah, it could be fun. Yeah, that could
I don't
really be
think
fun.
I would have him fight Batman, though.
Actually, he'd be fun if it was one of those protagonists where you can't tell what's reality and what's not for them either.
Yeah.
Get you somebody like Creeper who's kind of in between and is an unreliable narrator anyway, and just the whole movie you're like, I don't know, is he a god? I can't tell who's telling the truth. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I would make it totally ambiguous as to whether or not he actually is channeling Zeus.
Yeah, that could be good.
But I would also he would not be a Batman villain though. As I revamped him, he would wind up being a Wonder Woman villain.
Yeah, I could deal with that. I really wouldn't. If it is Affleck that he's referring to, I really would like to have seen Batfleck versus a Riddler that was not over the top at all. Mm-hmm. Like not even Gotham's version, way toned down. And I don't mean go to the gritty thing. We don't have to do that. I don't want to do like the it was a funny thing in the books that in the War of Jokes and Riddles he has like a question mark just carved into his chest, and he genuinely just looks like some Irish dude that stumbled out of a Donnybrook with a weird scar. It was a interesting choice fashion wise, but I liked what they did with the character. I liked a lot more than what they did with the how he looked at the time. But
I hate the way he looked.
You've seen that? Yeah.
Yeah.
The giant sideburns and everything.
Yeah, I don't like his subsequent look where he's like all scoliosis and looks like his spine is a question mark. I'm like, do we have to get grotesque with everybody?
He's got every some body hair now, but apparently in the books right now, Riddler hasn't eaten a whole meal in like a year, and he's just been subsisting on military strength amphetamines that he modified to be stronger. Which is a frightening concept, honestly. But I would not at all mind a version of him that was just played by some regular looking dude with a 5 o'clock shadow. Didn't even have to have the bowler hat. I don't care. We'll give him brown hair just for funsies, just to keep that going around. Prefers green outfits, but it doesn't have to be the thing. There didn't have to be a question mark on him. just what I would want if I could revamp him. It would just be, keep some tonal things about his outfit. Great, but we don't have to push anything. Because his outfits are fucking fantastic. You know what I mean? It's hard to work a suit full of question marks into anybody's backstory, and it makes any kind of sense unless they're like the guy in charge of quizzes at a bar that's 2 miles outside of Harvard's campus. I'm not going to find that somewhere.
Right.
An Irish bar, I guess.
Well before we knew of his issues, we'll say, I always kind of wanted Kevin Spacey to play the Riddler.
See, I wouldn't be
Kaiser Soze version.
Yeah, would not be a bad take at all for me. I don't know if I could think of an as a. I don't think I'm having trouble thinking of a character that I'd like him to be played like. But I would like a toned down version where, for me, I would like the story to be basically Bane's take on how to take down the Bat, but played out a Riddler way. Like, he just keeps putting him through, trial after trial after trial, and eventually it becomes clear that the point is that he's never going to put out all the fires. There are too many. And it's not a matter of like, they don't have to be these haughty death trap things. It's just a matter of setting up so many dominoes that he can't put out all of them at once, and he eventually finds himself vulnerable. And then that's his whole plan.
Mm-hmm. I have an idea for who could play him and how he would be played. It should be freaking John Glover again. No one ever said the Riddler had to be young. Have him be an old enemy of Thomas Wayne's, like a guy who blames Thomas Wayne for something or another. And have him work out that Bruce is Batman. Yeah.
Well, for me, that would be the only important part of the backstory. It wouldn't even have to be about whether he knew the big secret. Although I wouldn't be opposed to it.
A formidable Riddler would.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you're right. Like, at this point, we're folding in Hugo Strange into the backstory, Bane, everybody. But, yeah.
I ain't saying nothing about no Hugo Strange.
Well, Hugo just kind of figured out who he was, because he was like, oh, you know what would make sense? It's probably that guy. Same way Bane did, I guess. But yeah, for me, the important part would be that it was played down. It's not overamped. There's no big Jim Carrey-esque scenes. None of that. It would just be, I'm going to take down the Bat. I'm going to give him so much on his plate that he can't do it all in one time. And then when he's vulnerable, I'm going to take him down, and I'm going to laugh my ass off because he did something in the past that pissed me off, and that's it. That's all there is to it. He just did something in his past. He was an unexpected piece of collateral damage, and he just never forgave him for it and said, you know what? You've taken everything. I'm going to ruin your life. I don't care what happens after.
Yeah.
I mean, if you stop me, I'll go to prison for the rest of my life. I don't give a fuck. If you don't, I'm going to laugh my dick off while you get your ass beat. Really, it's just, the only reason I say it, Riddler's just been so hyped up every time you see him. Kevin Spacey-esque is not a bad call, though.
Right.
Can we do someone that's just get someone who's a little less creepy?
I was about to say, I would love for John Glover to do it. I'd love him to play the character as a mix between what he did on the Batman animated series and what he did on Smallville as Lionel.
Yeah.
That's the take. That's what I would be looking for.
Yeah.
Chris Balga says, if given the opportunity to do a movie trilogy arc for any DC character, who is the character and what is the Cliff Notes synopsis of each part?
Wow. Run that by me again.
If given the opportunity to do a movie trilogy arc for any DC character, who is the character and what is the Cliff Notes synopsis of each part?
God, dear Lord, do you have something in mind?
I do, actually, yeah.
Shoot.
My idea would be, because I'm boring, I want to do a Batman trilogy arc. But instead of doing Batman as a crutch like Nolan did, I would do a theme of fatherhood. Batman in the first part loses his father. The second part becomes a father. He has Robin, and we might maybe even jump ahead, do some time jumps in that second movie, and I assume we would do like time jumps in the first movie as well, going from Bruce as a young kid to being an adult. Second movie, we have him taking. We will see Dick Grayson grow up over the course of that second movie, and other characters introduced, like probably Tim, Jason, Damian. And I think you could do that. I really think there's a way to do it. And then number 3 would be
start fostering a Bat family,
right? And number 3 would be about letting go.
No, the birdies have to go fly.
Yeah. And, it's Bruce, so he's not able to. It takes him a minute.
Could I suggest somewhere in the second part a beat where and it would be Dick who points it out to him, that Bruce would be trying to be a father and being really bad at it because he just will not, open up to actually having a family. Pretty classic beat, but you hit it here, I think. And then it has to be Dick who points out to him, like, I know you lost your father early, but at least he stopped damaging you at that point. You're still around here damaging us. Like every day you're here, you just fuck us up worse until you decide to pull this ship around. What do you want?
Yeah, like I think I haven't worked out villains, but I don't think it greatly matters. Like the idea would be more about the real villain of the story would be Bruce and his inability to function as a person.
Yeah, pretty much.
So not Batman
just
as a
Bruce
crutch,
defeating himself the entire time.
Yeah, like you would have other antagonists running about, but
well,
the villain would be the Robins and how they're not willing to understand things.
Yeah. One of our big problems with the Nolan verse was that Batman just stopped being Batman for 8 years. So in your version, he never stops. Like he's always effective at being Batman. He's just a terrible person outside of that uniform.
Well, that's part of it. That's part of the letting go part, because I feel like part of being a parent eventually becomes dealing with your own mortality and dealing with the fact that this person whose ass you wiped at some point now has to take care of you. So I would rope that in, like tie that in with like Bruce's body starting to fail at some point. That would probably really start coming around the second movie just a little bit, and then like really hitting home in the third.
Yeah, that's
Bruce
fair.
not wanting to let the Robins help him take care of him.
Yeah, it's got to backfire on him at some point that he's not letting people in, or what are you doing here?
But the thing I like about it more than anything is just I really like the idea of telling the Bat family's story through the eyes of Bruce almost.
Yeah, I like it. I got a couple of weird possibilities.
It's the sock, isn't it? It's
not gonna be the sock.
It's ambush bug.
It's not ambush bug. Raven maybe.
Oh,
but Raven Part 1. It's the pretty classic beat of she knows she's kind of, half demon, half normal, and doesn't really know which side is her. I think you got to do that battle to some extent. And then Part 2 is, well, in Part 1, she kind of overcomes to some extent and decides to try to embrace her human side. In Part 2, I just have her get pushed too far and embrace the demon side. And then at some point start genuinely just enjoying being that powerful. And then in Part 3, just transition into the part of her that's real, is that she does enjoy inflicting pain on evil people. Like she finally defeats Intrigan and was like, oh, I want more. Not Intrigan, Trigon. And was like, oh, I want.
Yeah, I knew you meant. I was like, yeah.
She defeats him with a better iambic pentameter couplet. Yeah, like she finally defeats Trigon and just realizes, oh no, that's my real place. I'm going to punish hell itself.
Sorry, the iambic pentameter just hit me.
She wins an epic rap battle.
Yeah.
Or possibly one where it's just like, I don't know, again, just pulling weird people. Somebody like Red Tornado, just trying to find his humanity, finding it in the second one by like finding a team, and then finding it in the third one by rebuilding the guy who created him, like rebuilding Tomorrow as someone who's actually contributing to society. Like he makes like an AI in the form of Gideon out of the old data logs and shit from Tomorrow's lab. Like he just finds all that and comes up with, he's a fucking robot anyway. I'm sure he can figure out an AI. But that's his entire turnaround. Was like, you know what? You tried to ruin me. You know what I'm going to do? You're going to run the British railway system, and they're going to be on time for once.
That's funny.
Most demeaning fucking task to come up with. You're in charge of this one Rolex watch.
Is this the Clock King?
Yeah. It's an IQ of 215 trapped in a Rolex watch.
Ooh, the Clock King might be a good one to update. A good villain to update.
Oh, that could be fun. Yeah, that really could be.
I love the way animated series did it. It doesn't even, they updated it. They made it, you know, his entire life was ruined by people not being on time and him not being on time.
Yeah. I just want to see like a flashback to be him being the guy who, in like a villain mustache, was the guy who convinced Congress to pass the daylight saving time thing.
Uh-huh.
And he
was
just
it the
walks
farmers
over
after all?
You know, the whole thing.
All right.
The entire nation will be confused. I'll be the only one in charge of time for 5 months of the year, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Is it actually 6 months? Every year it comes and goes so fast, I don't even know. And every year I hate it more.
Me too. Travis Hines, though, says, what are your thoughts on Hush's looking Batwoman?
I looked up a picture. Looks good. Still haven't seen the episode.
I haven't seen the episode yet. I saw a picture and I went, yep, he looks like Darkman. We're good here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks fine to me.
Darkman, Invisible Man, H.G. Wells style, Hush. Mm-hmm. They all have the same outfit, and I'm okay with it either way.
Yeah. I'm not crazy about the guy that plays Tommy Elliott, but whatever.
I did see some comments about him being bad. I haven't gotten to see it yet to judge for myself, but
I mean, he's not like overwhelmingly bad so far. Like he's not Geomancer.
Okay, yeah. So on the scale,
yeah, he's all right. He's not even Psycho Pirate bad.
How about what's her name? Amethyst or whatever.
Oh,
Amulet. Black Amulet.
No, he's not. No,
Amulet Black. There we go.
Amunet Black.
Black.
He's not as bad as she is.
Okay.
No, he's not even really that bad. He's just not good. You know what I
mean? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's just that, there's nothing pops when he's on screen. You're just like, yeah, okay.
He'll do.
This is the guy you got to play Tommy Elliott? All right. And then you wonder, because you have seen Amunet Black, and you go, this is how you want this guy to play him? It's like, which one is it? Is it his fault or is it yours? I don't know. We've got a take on Tommy Elliott. Okay, well, we'll see it.
That's actually, honestly, like in a meta way, that's a lot of the conversations I want to have sometimes, is I want to get the character, a version at least from the books, sitting at my table on the left. Mm-hmm. And then I want, from the recent version that I watched sometimes, I want the writers, the actor or actress, and I want the director of that episode, and I want them all at the table. And sometimes there are times where I just want to look at the character and look at him making his sad face and say, why did you do this? Which one of you is responsible for what happened here?
It's a little bit like, Dougray on Batwoman, who's playing Kate's dad. Mm-hmm. He does this really scruff voice. And, I was talking to my wife. She was like, why does he keep doing like Christian Bale Batman voice?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe that's just the way he talks. Like, I think he actually has an accent. I think he's Scottish for real. Maybe he's I don't know.
That's just what his throat does when he moves it. I don't know.
Yeah. And then I looked him up and, you've never heard such, a smooth, milky voice. Like, he's Scottish. He's got the accent and everything. But he's like, oh yes, and he's the father of Kate. And I'm like, oh, what? Then why do you sound like what? It's Lance all over again. It's Quentin.
You were doing a nature documentary 10 minutes ago, and now I think you think you're in the original Dick Tracy movie with Warren Beatty.
Yeah, it's like the kiwi is mounting the other kiwi, and look, oh, there it goes.
And there's the circle of life, the wonderful. These are the ingredients that make life spring forth. The universe continues. And then 10 minutes later, give me all your money.
Yeah, it's weird, man. I don't understand. Anyway.
By the way, you said Scottish and David Tennant. I want David Tennant to play the Riddler I was talking about.
Yeah, I could deal with that now.
I'm not the first person to mention that by any stretch, but...
No.
Oh. Yeah. It's been an episode of me not remembering shit, so hey, there we go.
David Tennant needs to play the Riddler. Matt Smith needs to play the Joker.
And then anything that happens beyond that can happen. I don't care. You can get Will Arnett himself to sit there in a Batman uniform.
Oh no! But if they're if they're doing that, then I
even
want
doing
Capaldi
the goofy voice, and I'll just be so happy.
I want Capaldi as Chief O'Hara.
Oh. So good. Capaldi would make a better Commissioner Gordon, though.
I'd like to see him do anything. He'd be
the first one where I was like, no, that mustache has to go. I'm sorry. Capaldi and a mustache ain't gonna work for me. You gonna let him play it straight faced? Let him do a 5 o'clock shadow? and then just let him do his thing.
I have to admit, I'd probably want to bring back J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you. I just saw him on Brooklyn Nine-Nine a couple weeks ago, and it was glorious.
Oh, it was fantastic.
I've been catching up on that, too.
It was so good.
I don't think we just don't have to get out of the Hoovers to recast most of Gotham. I mean, Karen Gilliam, Poison Ivy, all day. Done.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it again.
I just had a terrible thought, and I'm not going to say it.
What is
and no, for Karen Gillan, I'd Batgirl.
Oh, hell yeah. God, yeah, she could play Batgirl. What was the original Martha? Or the second Martha? Original Martha. I can't remember.
Original Martha.
Catherine, the older lady that started with Tenet.
Oh, Donna,
thank you. She'd be a lot of fun as
Catherine Tate.
Catherine Tate. There you go. She'd be a lot of fun as like a God, I'm just not gonna remember her name this entire episode. What's the kind older lady that's the mother figure to Batman sometimes?
Leslie Tompkins?
The doctor? Leslie Tompkins. Jesus Christ. My brain is falling apart.
Oh gosh.
We just wouldn't have to get far out of this to recast the entire thing.
You wouldn't. Now I'm just like scouring my brain, like who could Tom Baker play?
I don't know.
I just want him somewhere. He could play like the Golden Age Joker.
I don't know, but I'm gonna make Chris Eccleston Guy Gardner though.
Ooh,
he looks like he'd be eager right bastard. Yeah, let him do it.
Yeah, except when you said Christopher Eccleston, the first thing I thought was Lieutenant Flass.
Ooh, it's gonna be a short-lived part, but not bad.
Yeah. I'd love to see him play a villain, though, like a real bad villain, like a big bad. Anyway, it's all freaky. Mr. Stu Little has our final question of the evening and says, has there been a dumber DCW plot device than Mouse's magic face swapping skills on Batwoman? At least this should drive the show to finally start to advance the Bruce Wayne plot when Hush inevitably uses it to impersonate him and recast Hush with a hopefully better actor now. I had not considered that, but yeah, we could do that. I'm not a huge fan of the plot device, but I am bored of it.
Yeah, it's the same as the mind swapping thing is just as boring to me now.
Yeah, but I think like as far as it being dumb and people being like, it's stupid magic face swapping. Here's the thing. For years, I've been watching on Mission Impossible, and now with my new podcast, Breaking Bond, I'm watching them do it on James Bond.
Oh, it's a trope. It's been around for forever.
Yeah, absolutely. They just have like a rubber mask that they just pull off. Like, that's not James Bond. That's this guy.
On that like periodic table of storytelling, it's probably just called FS, like Element FS.
So I like that. I'm used to the trope, and I've gotten over the annoying bit of it. So the fact that on Batwoman, they at least give like, here's a thing that a plastic surgeon taught his son how to do. And they do this thing and they make it look like he's a person from somebody. They take someone's face. And I mean, it's stupid, but it's.
Well, and they even ran it through Alice where she's the one who actually kind of perfected it. Like they couldn't quite get it right until her apparently just latent sewing prodigy skills stepped up to the plate.
Right.
I mean, they give you some version of a story. It just doesn't mean I'm particularly compelled by that story.
And I just accepted the fact that there was an infinite multiverse that they saved, so I can just accept it. I can just say, begrudgingly accept that this is a universe where faces work like that, and you could just...
Yeah. I'm if we're being honest about Batwoman, and I think I'm just an episode behind, but maybe two. I'll check Matt, but whatever. I'm less annoyed by the face swapping, more annoyed by her not just telling people that there was a universal crisis that she squeaked herself out of. Like there's been several people just kind of edge toward the idea, and she kind of tries to play dumb. It's like that to me is a little more frustrating. Just tell people what happened. You don't it's probably going to come up at some point.
I mean, maybe, but
it would be easier for you to explain to people what happened than to try to do what you're doing.
At the same time, I kind of feel like she's not even seemingly having any problem with that. Like, that is like her strangling dude. That's the thing that she's like, oh, I can't. Multiverse crisis. That's fine. I know. But I strangled a guy.
Well, the funny part is it cracks me up that, when I'm a viewer, it cracks me up that feels wrong to me. But, honestly, if it was in my life and there was a multiversal crisis and I somehow squeaked my way out of it, still knowing what actually had happened, and then a few weeks later I choked a man to death. Yeah, actually choking a man to death would fuck me up way worse.
Yeah.
If I'm being real about how I would react to it, yeah, that would actually probably get under my skin way more.
Well, the crisis is just so big, you couldn't wrap your head around it.
Kind of.
You'd just be like, well, that was crazy. That was a whole bunch of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, what's not crazy is I had a guy's throat in my hands and I took him out.
Yeah. It'd be like waking up from a particularly weird dream, like one of those that you can't even get your head away from for the first 30 minutes you're awake.
Mm-hmm.
And, you get in the shower, you get out, you're still thinking about it. You just can't get out of that headspace. You're still groggy and you pull out of your driveway and you realize you've just backed over somebody's pet.
Mm-hmm. Or child.
I'm just saying, my dream is no longer at all relevant. I'm way more concerned with the pet/child that I've just backed over.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give them that.
Grandmother.
/grandmother.
Why was she laying in my driveway? Anyway, if I'm being honest, while I enjoy Alice and I'm really digging what she's doing.
Yeah,
I am so sick of Mouse. I am so tired of Mouse. I hate him. I hate the actor. I hate the guy. The character makes me physically ill to even hear his voice at this point. I'm so tired of his story. I'm so tired of his incessant whining. I'm just done. I'm done with Mouse.
I could kind of see how you'd get there, but I'm not yet having the same physical reaction.
Yeah,
I'm just not saying it's not happening soon even, but I'm just not there yet.
Yeah, I'm just like, dude, yeah, just somebody kill him. Somebody take him out. Kate, I hear you're good with your hands. Oh no, sorry. Stop having your panic attack. Don't. It's okay.
Well, in this show and in this universe, though, you don't want him just taken out. Like, you don't want it. I'm gonna need to see the body get buried.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you got to know it's real. Or what are we doing here?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I want to know. I want to see him gone.
I could just see you high-fiving Bethany. Like, hell yeah, he's out here.
Yeah, I don't think she likes Mouse either. Either.
Oh, good. It's catching on.
Just like, ugh. Here we go with Mouse again.
Yep.
Anyway.
I've disinfected so many things today that my hands just smell like bleach. Can I blame that? Is that possible?
Sure. You can blame whatever you want, buddy. I'll believe you.
Budding neurological disorder, whatever.
Mm-hmm. I'll say you poor bastard.
Sure. Well, no more in a few weeks.
Now let me ask you this: where do you get the bleach? Because I haven't been able to find any bleach at the Walmart.
we had a gallon from the before times.
Oh, the before times, you say?
Yeah, I think I remember. I'm pretty sure I remember bitching about somewhere on the show bitching about hand, foot, and mouth disease. So that is a real pain in the ass. But if you happen to follow it with like pandemic level controls of disinfectants, turns out when you had to buy a bunch of stuff to get rid of hand, foot, and mouth disease, you're in good shape.
Fair enough.
Seriously, that was 2 months of scrubbing everything she touched to make sure that we weren't perpetuating the thing. Because you can get it back, by the way. And then she got it, then Mom got it, and then she didn't pass it back. We managed to keep it down to those two incidents, but it was just 2 months of scrubbing every damn thing. And it was pretty good prep work.
That's fair.
And I've still got a bunch of bleach left over, so yay.
Well, Nerdy-tastic has a comment for us, and it's not a question, it's a warning. She says, y'all might want to avoid the new toy releases for Wonder Woman 1984 because I just glanced at an email from Hot Topic about Funko Pops and got a huge spoiler on how Cheetah looks. Yeah, that's real, and I saw that shit like 6 months ago because they pushed it back, and there was a leak for like notebooks or something, and yeah, I got spoiled. That shit was taken down quick, but I saw it.
Yeah.
So that's a real thing, y'all. Thank you, Nerdy-tastic.
I'm very sorry, Nerdy-tastic. I'm also very grateful that I'm not in that particular world because I would be so pissed. genuinely, it's one of the dumbest things the fucking industry still refuses to change. They refused to change the distribution methods. There's too much money and toys on a shelf in Walmart or Target or whatever the fuck you're getting them on. Like, there's just too much money there. They think they have to push it really early or they won't get the sales. I'm not sure that's true anymore. And on top of that, you have all these people that would just want to leak, oh, look at the new look of so-and-so. And I feel like it's just two worlds. It's a world full of people that love the toys, are in the world of the toys and want to push the toys. And they're so excited about the new look that I don't think they have anywhere near like my world is the narratives of things. That's important to me. I don't want to know all this shit before I get into it. I want to go see what the creator gave me and see how I feel about it. Or,
I'm not a marketing expert. I mean, you guys have seen how I market this show. You know that. But I would think if they we know what Wonder Woman is going to look like, right? We know what Maxwell Lord is going to look like. What would be interesting is if they marketed the toy for Cheetah and then had they put a black box over her, like a censorship box, and it was just with question marks or something. And that would be oh, dude, what does that mean? What is she going to look like? Oh, I got to go see the movie. That would be cool. I feel like that would amp up collectors. Because, the real collectors, the people who give a shit about this, they're going to buy the whole set anyway.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
You don't need to show them look at the new Cheetah. Blah.
It seems like we've bled into a time, though, where I think there's some people that market to the toy distribution side of it, the Mattels or whatever, that are just so focused on getting the toy in some kid's hands. And the part that cracks me up is they're so focused on getting the toy in the hands of a 6-year-old that they're going to spoil for the adult parents who, by the way, are part of the fan base too at this point. They're spoiling for the adult parents who are part of the PG-13 plus crowd, a movie that they cared about a lot.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. I genuinely wish the marketing was just done very differently. I refuse to believe that you cannot market something to a 6-year-old effectively after the fact rather than before the fact. I don't think the 6-year-olds are that goddamn picky. Just don't.
Yeah, when marketing gets involved and they want to start spoiling stuff, I'm always reminded of the trailer for Star Trek 3. And apparently everyone involved tried to fight the marketing on it. Please don't put out that trailer. Please don't put out that trailer. We should not let them know the Enterprise is going to be blown up. And sure enough, in the trailer, it's you watch the Enterprise blow up, and it's come watch the final adventure of the Starship Enterprise. You're no.
Yeah.
Why would you show the ship fly blowing up and falling into out of orbit into the planet's atmosphere? Don't ruin the entire movie for us.
Yeah, I get it.
That's what I always think of, and I'm willing to ruin that movie because it's from 1982.
I feel like these are the same 1984. These are the same people who will sit there and cite the Titanic had the biggest numbers to date, and they all knew the ship sank. Oh, come on, you asshole.
So spoilers for Titanic. She had plenty of room on that board.
Yeah. There was gonna be a Monster Universe-esque sequel in the same universe called the Hindenburg, and the trailer was just gonna be a bunch of people enjoying a ride on a blimp.
Yeah.
Nothing. Just nothing. Just a bunch of people just enjoying being handed a cocktail. I mean, this is fantastic. I can't believe the view up here. That's it.
And a guy with a pencil-thin mustache looking directly at the camera going, what could go wrong?
Yeah. Such an adventure. I've never been safer.
We gotta go.
Yeah. I gotta put that baby to sleep. I gotta stop interrupting while my wife puts that baby to sleep. But it's time.
Mm-hmm. Y'all, thank you so much for your questions, for your comments. Hell, honestly, without you guys, there wouldn't be a show right now because
genuine. To talk about. Yeah, that's a fact.
I love hearing what you guys want to talk about and acquiescing to those demands. For now, we'll see if we ever make it big time how much we listen to the little people. But for right now, thank you very much. No, seriously though, thank you, and thanks for listening and commenting. And if you follow us on Twitter, DC on Screen, we pose this question pretty much every week at this point. So hop on to Twitter, give us a follow, If you're digging what we're putting down, or picking up what we're putting down, I believe is how the terminology goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is, just please title this episode the episode where nothing's pronounced correctly.
That's right.
Yeah.
And just remember us.
Mispronunciation Nation.
Yeah, everything that we're mispronouncing is not real. It's just a figment of your imagination.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
Bye.
Bye. Until next
lie
time.
down.
Keep some DC on your screen. Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnScreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.
Discover unbeatable deals and convenience at your neighborhood family fare supermarkets. Score exclusive deals, earn rewards, join clubs, and clip digital coupons for extra savings all in one place. Our exclusive offers bring savings straight to your card. Explore a wide range of local products that support your community. With easy pickup and delivery options, saving time and grocery shopping has never been easier. Family Fare is all about making your grocery experience easy and affordable and your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. Family Fare in your neighborhood.
At the Norm Reeves Superstores, we're thankful for you. Right now is the best time to get the super experience you deserve. Shop super prices on a super selection of vehicles at 11 convenient locations. From West Covina to the Cerritos Auto Square, Huntington Beach to the Irvine Auto Center, Vista and San Diego. You're never far from a Norm Reeves Superstore. Shop America's most popular brands: Ford, Lincoln, Hyundai, Genesis, Volkswagen, Toyota, and Honda. This holiday season, we have all your favorite new models in stock. Looking to trade? We want to buy your vehicle. Any make, any model, any year. Plus, enjoy total peace of mind with your purchase thanks to our exclusive price protection guarantee. If you can find the same new vehicle for less within 5 days, Norm Reeves will pay you the difference or buy your vehicle back. It's that simple. Take a test drive today at the Norm Reeves Superstore location closest to you, like the #1 Honda store in the world in the Cerritos Auto Square. Or shop online anytime at normreeves.com. As per Global Honda New Vehicle Sales 2022.